Hi guys, and welcome to Beginners Yoga. So we're going to get straight into the practice. All I want you to know is that you don't need any equipment necessarily. It might be handy to have a strap of some kind, or a tea towel, or a belt even, and a bolster perhaps, or a block if you've got any yoga blocks. But otherwise you don't really need to have them. They're just there as aids to get you into and out of the poses with a little bit more ease perhaps. You could also do some of these poses seated in a chair if you really struggle sitting on the ground. The main focus I want to stress is that you should never push yourself through any pain. So if you're feeling any pain, regardless of where you are in your practice, please pull yourself out of your pose and just take a moment's breath and just sit it out. And just use my breath as a guide and just follow yourself into and out of the practice as much or as little as you want. But it's going to be a very quick practice, and I'm going to be breaking down the fundamentals of just a couple of yoga poses. So we'll be moving into and out of them nice and slowly. So yeah, you'll be done nice and quickly, but you'll be also well flexed and stretched, and hopefully this will stimulate you to want to practice a little bit more. So with that being said, we're just going to make our way over onto our backs to start the practice. So just finding a nice comfortable position here. And we're just going to keep our knees bent and draw our feet out to the edges of the mat, or just a bit wider than hip width distance if you're not using a mat. Allowing them to rest against each other here, and you can either have your palms up to the ceiling, or you can rest them onto your belly and just really feel the breath moving into and out of your body. So we're just going to close down the eyes here and fundamentally switch our awareness to our breath. So that's really what yoga is about, is connecting our mind to our body, and we use the power of the breath to bring us there, to bring our awareness and our attention to the present moment, because that's the only moment that matters in life. Switching our focus away from any past or future worries. And so from here, you're just going to feel the breath moving into and out of your body. So you're not going to control it at this point. You're just going to notice its characteristics as it enters and leaves your body. So noticing the sensations as it passes into your nose or your mouth, deep into your chest, perhaps into your belly. And just feel the energy on your inhales. And then as you exhale, you feel it passing back out through your body. And our breath can be a good indicator of where we are in our mental state. So whether or not you're feeling in control of your thoughts, it can be an indicator if your breath is shallow and quite fast-paced. It could be an indicator that your mind is slightly worried or anxious, or it's a bit cluttered. So it's a good chance to declutter, de-stress your body a little bit and your mind by using your breath here, using it as a tool, a really powerful tool. So now we're going to bring some conscious breath into the body. So as you inhale, you're going to feel that lift and rise of the chest as the air sinks into your cavity of the chest. And as you exhale, slowly release the exhale from the body. So inhaling, really filling up all of the lung space deep into the belly, allowing the belly to rise. And as you exhale, the belly and the chest will fall nice and slowly, maybe pursing your lips or constricting the muscles at the back of your throat to make you sound a little bit like Darth Vader. So again, inhaling. Really feel that energetic lift. Hold it at the top. And slowly exhale. So those elongated exhales just allow you to bring some peace and stillness into your body. Just going to do one more conscious breath here. Again, feeling that rise and lift of the chest and the belly, holding it at the top, and exhale, Belly's falling, chest falling. Good, so from here, you're just going to draw your knees in towards your chest as best you can. Just rocking from side to side, start to massage out the lower back muscles. And we're going to roll ourselves over onto our left or right side and press up into a seated position. So from here, like I said, if you feel it's a little bit uncomfortable to sit onto the ground, you can sit in a chair, you can sit onto a bolster or a cushion or a block, just to get that nice tilt of the pelvis. So if I turn this way, you can see that my pelvis is tilted down. So it just brings that nice length up through the spine, so you're not rounded out, because often if you've got tight hamstrings, you can sit cross-legged and you're hunched over like this, and it's just not a nice comfortable position to be in. It's not safe practice for your spine. So you want that anterior tilt of the pelvis, so it tilts down, just so it brings that nice elongation through the spine and it opens out your chest so you can breathe a little bit more easily. So wherever you are, grab yourself a chair or a bolster or a cushion, or if you sit it on the ground, making sure you find your sit bones comfortably seated onto the ground and planted. We're just going to do some lateral stretches here. So as you take your inhale, you're going to bring your arms up to the ceiling or the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to take that left hand down to the ground, reach up with the right and bring yourself over as you exhale. Inhaling back to center, both arms up. Exhale, this time taking the right hand down, lean over with the left. And you can turn your gaze up to the sky, whichever feels good for you. Inhaling up, exhale down. Bring some stretch. Really feeling that deep stretch now down through the side body. Inhale up, exhale down. Really reach out with the shoulder blade. As much stretch as you can. Inhaling back up to center with both arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to take a simple seated twist from here. So this time as you inhale, again you're going to take the arms up. And as you exhale, you're going to take that right hand to the outside of the left knee. And that left hand is going to come behind you for support. And you're just going to exhale, twist across. So now we're looking over that left shoulder. Taking a couple of breaths here. So remembering a nice tall spine. Your shoulders are open, you're not closed shoulders, you're just twisting yourself around as best you can. As you inhale, taking the hands up. This time again, exhale, take that left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right hand sits behind you for support. Draw length up through that spine. Exhale, twist. So again, you're drawing that right shoulder across as far as you can, just to keep the shoulders open, to allow the breath to enter and leave your chest as easily as possible. As you inhale, taking the arms up, exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to come over onto our all fours. So if you have a thin mat, if your knees are a bit sensitive, you can fold over the edges of your mat under your knees. It provides a little extra cushioning, but otherwise, you're going to take your hands down in front of just below your shoulders, and your knees are going to come directly below your hips. This is where you lose me in a mass of hair, so excuse me for that. Your index fingers now are parallel to each other and parallel to the long edges of your mat. We're just going to take a couple of circles here, just to limber up through the hands. So any weight-bearing exercises on the hands, you want to make sure that you're pressing into the whole surface area of that hand, and you're not dumping all of that weight down into that small area of the wrist. So you really want to grip into the mat, almost like you want to rip the mat off the floor. So you're pressing really hard through those fingertips, and it just helps to protect your wrists. And again with your knees, if they're a bit uncomfortable, you can tuck your toes under and just test to see if that makes it a little bit more comfortable for you. Otherwise, tops of the feet onto the mat. Just going to take some small circles, just building up that mobility and the synovial fluid into the joints, just to provide that extra bit of cushioning. And it also brings a little bit of movement into the body as well. It's just limbering up the hips. And you can make your circles increasingly bigger And just move, there's no right or wrong way of doing this, just moving your body in whatever way feels right. And coming back to a neutral position. So from here, one of the most fundamental poses in yoga is the cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're going to drop the pelvis and the belly down, open out the shoulders and gaze forward for cow. And as you exhale, you're going to tuck the belly button up and under, round out the upper back and drop the head down, tucking the tailbone under too. So as you inhale, drop the belly down, sit bones go up to the ceiling, open out the shoulders, gaze forward. Exhale, belly button up to the spine, head drops down, doming the upper back. So you should feel this quite a rhythmic motion passing through your body as you inhale. Exhale, like a wave motion. Inhale, so just limbering up all the bones of the vertebrae. Exhale. One more time as you inhale, wheel the chest open, gaze forward, drop the belly down. And this time as you exhale, press the ground away. But we're just going to exhale and sit back into our heels for child's pose. Just for briefly. Keeping the hands where they are. Inhale, coming back up to all fours. Gaze forward, drop the belly. Exhale, round the upper back, tuck the tailbone and sit yourself back to the heels. Once more, as you inhale, taking it back up to all fours, gaze forward, and exhale, cat yourself back into child. I'm going to settle into child's pose here, just without the hips. Have your big toes to touch, and maybe, if it's comfortable for you, draw your knees out a bit wider. Now, if this is a bit much on your knees or your ankles, this is where the bolster or a block can come in handy again. So you can take the bolster underneath your hips. It just takes that pressure away from the lower body and just settle down into child's. So it keeps those hips nice and elevated and it allows you to bring that stretch through the front of the shoulders. If this is a bit much on your shoulders, you can keep your elbows bent and just take your head down to the ground, or even you can cross your forearms over each other and just take your head down to your forearms. So whichever is comfortable for you, it's important to find a comfortable child's pose position, as this is one of the more widely used restorative poses. And from here, we're just going to find our breath again. So at any time you want to bring yourself into and out of child, you know to bring that restorative breath into the pose as well. So as you inhale, allow the belly to fill between the thighs, really expand between the thighs. And as you exhale, the belly lifts back up towards the spine. You're just engaging those abdominal muscles ever so slightly, just to protect the spinal muscles as well. So one more breath here. Really balloon the belly out and exhale. Good, so we're going to come back up to an all-fours position here. And our knees are going to come again directly underneath our hips. And we're just going to walk the hands about a foot in front of us. And we're going to drop the elbows down to the ground. So from here, this is half puppy, not half a puppy, half puppy. So just this is a fundamental position to bring us into downward facing dog nice and safely. So keeping the hips up into the air, we're going to bring our head down between our arms and the head will probably come down to the ground. This is quite an intense stretch down to the backs of the arms, so just bring yourself into it gently. But fundamentally, you want to bring your head in alignment with your arms and keep that belly button pressed in against the spine. Again, you can tuck your toes if you wish. But it's important now to feel the mat in the hands and your head is nestled between your arms. So bring yourself back up to puppy. I'm going to bring ourselves back up to all fours position. So from here, again, gripping the mat through the fingertips, index fingers are parallel, the toes are tucked, and just like with child's pose, our hips are going to come back, and just like with the puppy pose just then, our head is going to come between the arms. So we're doing it nice and slowly. But initially, you want to bring that belly button up towards the spine. As you exhale, we're going to press the knees off the ground just an inch, feeling the weight between the arms, really pressing the ground away. You don't want to sink into your shoulders. And as you exhale, your hips are being hoisted up to the ceiling. And if you want to take a step back with your feet, just gently, so your head falls in alignment with your arms, that's absolutely fine. But it's important now to keep the knees really generously bent, because it's more important to keep a long spine rather than a rounded spine for the sake of taking your heels down to the ground. And if you want to bring some movement into it, you can start to pedal out through the feet. And again, don't forget about these wrists. So you're pressing the weight evenly through the fingertips, and you're not dumping it into those small wrist joints. So pedaling out through the feet. Press the ground away so your shoulders are pressed away from your ears. We're going to take it back down to all fours and down to child's. Taking your hands behind your back, allow your head to nestle down onto the ground. Just stretch out through those shoulder blades and through the fronts of the shoulders. Re-extending the arms out in front, coming back up to all fours. Again, find the foundations under your hands. So gripping into the mat with the fingertips, tuck the toes under, belly button up, drawn up to the spine, and exhale, hips up to the ceiling, pedaling it out. Good, stepping it back if you need to. And just finding your position here in downward facing dog. We're going to look between the hands now, coming back down to all fours. And we're going to extend our all fours position so that our bodies are sort of 45-degree angles to the ground. Keeping a slight bend in the elbows, we're going to inhale, shift the weight forward. As you exhale, keep the core engaged as you come down, chin and chest before the hips. So it's important that our chin and chest come down before the hips, otherwise we're sagging with the hips and we don't want that. We want to keep the core engaged. So the chin and the chest come down before the hips. Untucking the toes here, down onto the belly. So to utilise the back muscles to bring ourselves up into cobra, we're going to press the tops of the feet into the ground, engage the glutes, engage the lower back, and inhale, wheel the chest open up to cobra. Now from here, you can either hold it here or really test your back muscles and just gently lift your hands off the ground. Just so you know you're engaging the right muscles here. As you exhale, we're going to take it down. We're going to press ourselves up through all fours. Tuck the toes under for a brief extended child's and press it up to downward facing dog. So we're just going to do that little flow sequence a couple more times just to bring some vinyasa flow into the sequence. So inhale, taking the weight forward, dropping the knees down. Exhale, elbows shave the sides, chin the chest before the hips. Untucking the toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat. As you inhale, take yourself up to cobra, lifting the hands off. Exhale, take it down, pressing it up through all fours. Tuck the toes, brief extended child's, up into downward facing dog. So just twice more, just to really bring some rhythm and movement into the body. Inhaling, taking the knees down, extending yourself forward. Engage the core as you exhale, elbows shave the side, chin, chest, pelvis. Untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the ground, squeeze the glutes, open out through the chest as you inhale. Exhale, hands down to the ground, pressing it up through all fours. Extended child's, downward facing dog. Excellent job. So one more time. As you inhale, take it forward, knees drop down. Bring yourself beyond the fingertips, pressing to the fingertips. Elbows shave the sides, coming down, chin, chest, hips. Untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet into the ground, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, hands up for cobra. Exhale, hands down, pressing it up through all fours. Extended child's pose, you tuck your toes, and up to downward facing dog. Amazing, amazing work. I know I can't see you, so I don't know if you're doing it or you're just watching me. But yeah, you get the gist if you're doing it. And if it feels good to your body, amazing. So now as we bring our knees back down to the ground, taking it back to child's, catch your breath, maybe bring your hands, clasp them behind your back, Maybe even extend them up and over, just to bring that release through the fronts of the shoulders from downward facing dog. Release the grip nice and slowly. As you exhale, press yourself neatly up to a seated position. And come to a cross-legged position onto the mat. Again, finding a block or a bolster, whatever feels good to your practice. I'm feeling like I want to sit up onto my bolster because it's nice and comfy. Closing down the eyes, taking the hands to heart center. And just noticing your breath. So that flow sequence can build energy, or it can even bring, depending on how fast or slow you're doing it, depending on where you are in your practice, if you're really in the zone, it can either invigorate or calm down your nervous system. So your inhales usually invigorate the nervous system, and longer exhales bring down the nervous system. So it's that equal balance of effort and ease. So noticing your body, noticing your breath, giving yourself a head to toe scan right now, placing your awareness into any areas of the body that need it, that need your attention. Taking one more cleansing inhale in, and exhale, side out. One more time, inhale, and exhale, side out. Blinking your eyes open. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice. And as always, leave any comments for me in the comments bar below. It really helped me to bring out some new fresh videos and content. Positive or negative, they're both welcome. And I hope this helped you beginners especially. So thank you so much.